So we are now live. Please go ahead. Thanks.
With Himant sir.
Namaskar, good morning, and welcome to another edition of our webinars in the series Illness to Wellness. Since past 2 years, we've been conducting these programs, bringing on the four specialists in the field of and relatable medical information and knowledge, which we were providing fortnightly or weekly during these periods through this platform of Illness to Wellness. We've had, I think, more than 100 very successful programs, especially webinars in these series, in which we have covered varied topics concerned with our health, with the immunity, with chronic diseases like diabetes, heart diseases, blood pressure, gastrointestinal diseases, mental health issues, what and what. We have literally covered all the major topics. Humanity, as long as we know, has been in pursuit of health, of good health rather. But as we all know, diseases have been there lurking behind and ready to bite always. And it has been an existential threat for the humanity, for the human beings, to be fighting the nature, with the environment, surviving, thriving, and diseases all but form a part of this environment in which we have been able to as human beings, survive, prosper, and grow further ahead. And I personally would say that we have come to a stage when probably we ourselves and our survival has become to a certain extent a disease for this nature, for this environment. Modern medicine, as we know now, started a long time back. And as long as written history can be deciphered, we know that human beings have been in pursuit of healthcare, of good health. There were diseases. There were different perceptions about the diseases, about their treatment, how to get rid of them, how to be healthy. All these we can see from different findings in the archaeological findings from different periods. And I think probably the first written records of medical history, of description of medical diseases date back to the ancient Egyptian times, which is more than 3,000 years ago. Hippocrates, as we know, is the father of the modern medicine, who formed the basis, who gave out the basic concepts of the modern medicine, and that was way back in 460 BC, so almost 3,000 years back. But as we all know, over the time, those concepts have evolved, changed drastically. The modern medicine, as is being practiced today, is nowhere what it started with, because the perception has changed with the increase in knowledge that has been gained through science, through chemistry, through different fields of life, and all that has impregnated into the practice of medicine. But medicine is practiced everywhere, and medicine is important to all of us. There are traditional systems of medication, and there are traditional medications which we all have been taking. In fact, since my childhood, I also have been taking different medications which are commonly used in all our homes. So today we are going to discuss these with specialists from different forms of medicine, from different systems of treatment and medicine, namely from Ayurveda and from homeopathy. I'm delighted to have with us today specialists from these different fields, and I would like to make a note here that usually the introduction and the welcome address is done by Shri Anil Rajputji, who is the chairperson of the ASSOCHAM CSR Council, but due to certain very important pre-decided engagements, he could not be with us today. So, on behalf of ASSOCHAM, personally on behalf of Shri Anil Rajputji, who is the chairman of ASSOCHAM CSR Council, honorable panelists, speakers, and guests, and our audience, I would like to welcome you all. I'm very thankful that you found time and to be here with us. I would like to welcome Dr. Bhaskar Sharma, who's the founder and director of Dr. Sharma Homeopathic Hospital and Research Foundation. I'd like to welcome Dr. Kriti Soni. She is the head R&D Kapiva Ayurveda, and Vaidya Shikha Prakash. She's an Ayurvedic physician. I understand that she would be joining us very soon. I was very enthusiastic about medicine, and uh, it was my dream since childhood to be a doctor. But I was very enthusiastic about Ayurveda because we are from such a family, very traditional family, and we've been reading about the wonders of Ayurveda. And the first thing that I did, I remember when I took admission in medical college, is I looked up for a book, but I wanted to read the traditional Ayurveda before starting my medicine. So I looked up for a book, and this is a very interesting book, uh, History of Medicine in India. It is written by Professor R.D. Lele, and it gives a very comprehensive account of Ayurveda, its inception, development, and a very good description of Ayurveda. And I was actually perplexed when I saw the different procedures, their descriptions, and the understanding of disease that we traditionally had even 3 to 5,000 years back. So I think it is really very amazing, and I'm very glad to have our honorable guest with us. So starting this meeting, I would request Dr. Bhaskar Sharma, who's a homeopathy specialist. As we all understand, homeopathy probably is the youngest of all the traditional system, all the systems of medicine, not just traditional. Because if we don't know exactly when the Chinese and the Indian medicine systems started,
मैं डॉक्टर भास्कर शर्मा, सिद्धार्थ, उत्तर प्रदेश से। इस वर्चुअल वेबिनार में एसोचम चेयरपर्सन, CSR हेड डॉक्टर श्री अनिल कुमार राजपूत जी, डायरेक्टर CSR के स्वागत करता हूं। उपस्थित होने सभी आज हम बात करेंगे
भास्कर जी, आपकी आवाज ठीक से नहीं आ रही है।
अब आवाज आ रही है सर?
हाँ, अभी बेहतर आई, अभी आई आवाज।
जी जी जी, इस सिस्टम में कुछ गड़बड़ी है जिसकी वजह से हमारे यहाँ तो नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है जी, तो समस्याएं हो सकती हैं। अब बल्कि क्यूरेशन पर आधारित होनी चाहिए, क्यूरेशन पर आधारित होनी चाहिए। क्यूरेशन इन द सेंस पूरी तरह से स्वस्थ हो। WHO की गाइडलाइन के अनुसार जो शब्द की परिभाषा दी गई है वो 4 स्तर पे है। शारीरिक स्तर पर स्वस्थ हो, मानसिक स्तर पर स्वस्थ हो, सामाजिक स्तर पर स्वस्थ हो और आध्यात्मिक स्तर पर स्वस्थ होना चाहिए। इन चारों स्तर पर स्वस्थ करने के लिए हम किसी को केवल मॉडर्न मेडिसिन के माध्यम से नहीं कर सकते हैं। इसलिए इंटीग्रेटेड यथार्थ समय की देखभाल की आवश्यकता होती है, जिसमें इंसान की जो समस्या है वो किस स्तर पर है, कितना एक्यूट है और कितना क्रोनिक है। तरुण बीमारियों को यानी कि एक्यूट बीमारियों को हम देखभाल किसी भी इमरजेंसी दवाओं से कर सकते हैं, परंतु यदि कोई पुरानी बीमारी और जटिल मानसिक समस्या हो तो उसे हम अच्छी देखभाल करनी होगी। या तो होम्योपैथी के जनक डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक सैमुअल हैनीमैन के सिद्धांत के आधार पर टोटलिटी ऑफ सिम्टम्स या अन्य उनके दिए गए सिद्धांतों को पालन करते हुए उनके जटिल समस्याओं का निराकरण कर सकते हैं। साथ ही साथ हमें समाज तथा राष्ट्र को प्रशिक्षित करना होगा कि आखिर हम किसी प्रकार की बीमारियों से ग्रस्त क्यों होते हैं, जिसका मुख्य कारण हमारी जो आज की जीवन शैली में गलत दिनचर्या, खान पान, आहार, व्यवहार, विचार, इन सब पर आधारित है। उच्च स्तरीय तौर पर चाहिए कि हम लोगों को एक ऐसा आहार का पैकेज दें जिससे हमारा सेवा समाज बीमार ना हो। मानव का आहार 3 स्तर पर खड़ा हो। पहला सुपाच्य, दूसरा पौष्टिक, तीसरा स्वादिष्ट। यह तीनों स्तर जिस आहार में पूर्णता होती है वो मानव के लिए सर्वश्रेष्ठ माना जाता है। यदि मानव केवल स्वाद के दृष्टिकोण से कोई गलत और गरिष्ठ आहार लेता है तो आगे चलकर वो बीमार पड़ सकता है।
भास्कर जी, हम आहार के ऊपर आगे फिर आएंगे। अभी कुछ बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट कुछ टॉपिक्स हैं जिस पे हम चर्चा करेंगे, फिर हम आहार के ऊपर भी आएंगे। तो आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
जी,
आपने हमें इसके बारे में बताया। डॉक्टर कृति, अब मैं आपके पास आऊंगा। सो व्हाट आर द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ आयुर्वेदा?
When we talk about Ayurveda, it's very important to understand that Ayurveda always talks about body and mind, synchrony. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम अपने डेली लाइफ के अंदर जो भी प्रैक्टिसेस है हमारी, उनको हम इतना रूटीन में और इतना अकॉर्डिंग टू नेचर प्रिंसिपल्स रखें कि हमारी बॉडी और माइंड के बीच में और हमारी इन्वायरमेंट के साथ वो सिंक्रोनी में हो. अगर ये कहीं पर भी इम्बैलेंस होता है, if this goes out of balance at any point of time, then it creates a condition of a disease in the body. There are different pravrittis as per Ayurveda, like kapha, vata, pitta, which we talk about, and these keep on changing. Like these are dominant, these become dominant as per the seasons, and depending on what prakriti we have at that particular point of time, different symptoms or disease predispositions start happening. So it's very important to understand that what kind of pravritti you belong to, and what is your daily life routine like in terms of your diet, sleep, how much exercise you do. All this actually contributes a lot to the healthy well-being. Uh, to In order to just put it in some in a very precise manner, I would like to say that Ayurveda always focuses on prevention, and we all know that prevention is better than cure. And of course it has cures for several diseases, but one why go to that disease state when you can prevent it by adopting a healthy lifestyle, which talks about having a good sleep pattern, a healthy diet, a balanced diet, along with some herbal concoctions which we already have in our kitchens. So we all understand that we as Indians, we've been predominantly exposed to a lot of herbal products since the beginning of our lives, like turmeric, ginger, all these things, which are actually very good source of I would say phytochemicals, which contribute a lot towards your immunity building, your overall health, well-being and health. So it's very important to understand all these principles in detail and follow them in life. Be it having a proper diet, following all these preventive herbs, having all these preventive herbs along with a healthy life pattern, that I would like to just assert on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kriti. I think it is very important for us to understand the philosophy and the principles behind any system of medicine, because they are actually what guide the practitioners, the physicians, the doctor in their pursuit of relief of illness or cure or treatment of the patients and the diseases. So I'd just like to outline once again that homeopathy, as I said, it is one of the youngest of all the systems of medicine that are prevalent as of yet. It started late in the 19th century. And one of the most important thing about homeopathy, just from the as can be seen from the name, homeo is similar and pathy, that is the disease. So treatment of disease by causing a similar disease is called a law of similars, or something like cures like. So it is believed in homeopathy that a small disease should be potentiated in order to bring about the treatment of the same disease. And there are also some principles which the homeopaths believe in, that is the shaking and diluting of the substances. It is believed in homeopathy that by diluting the substance, its potency increases, it becomes more effective. It is called potentiation. So these are some different, uh, I would say, very interesting for us things which are considered natural and which form the basis of therapy in homeopathy. Likewise, in Ayurveda, as just you mentioned, that it is probably the disbalance in certain conditions in the body, which may be bringing out the which may be the cause of disease. And why I'm talking about all this is because uh, at the time of the founding of the system of modern medicine, the way it progressed further on, it had almost absolutely similar beliefs, and the cause of disease at the time of Hippocrates was believed to be the disbalance between the five humors in the body, between the air, fire, earth, and other humors. It was which was believed to be the formative substance of our body, and it was believed that when these humors are not in sync with each other, it leads to a disease state. But as time progresses, as time has progressed, we've learned about other aspects of diseases, and the science of medicine has changed accordingly. So let us come down to earth, to our daily lives. And I would like Dr. Dr. Kriti to hear from you. You know, we have so many spices in our kitchens, and spices and some vegetables, things that we eat daily. And I'm not an Ayurvedic physician, but number of times I hear that many of these spices or some vegetables have therapeutic properties, and they have been in use since ages for treatment of certain diseases and disorders. So could you shed some light on our kitchens? How can
Yeah.
they be useful in treating us and making us live a healthy life?
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Kesri, for that question. So, the spices that are commonly available in our kitchens, and all of us have been using them since we know our food habits, are as follows. Like, I will just keep on giving some examples, and I would also like to highlight that as per Ayurveda, there is a particular way of taking these herbs. Although at times we, while cooking and while doing our regular practices, we forget the actual way to take them, but it's very important to take them with a proper vehicle. So, for example, turmeric, as we all know, as per modern medicine, also, if you see, a lot of research is going on all of these herbs, because these herbs are a combination of thousands of phytoactives, which individual phytoactive is itself a drug. We talk about paracetamol in allopathic medicine, which is like a 99.9% pure molecule, but we do have like several such paracetamol sitting in different herbal ingredients, which we need to isolate and purify to make them, potent enough and I would say not variable. We all understand that, if we procure these herbs from different geographical zones at different seasons, in different seasons, the phytoactive principles really vary. That is why you hear that Salem's turmeric is the best, or a particular geographical region has the best cultivation of a particular herb. The reason being that when that herb is grown at that temperature in that particular geographical area, it is rich with those phytoactives which are really, really, good in terms of their therapeutic benefits. So if I talk about curcumin, it is a very lipophilic molecule. So you need to take it with some oily vehicle. So either we've been taking turmeric milk since ages. We call it golden milk. Even we see that Western countries started having turmeric latte because because of the therapeutic benefit that it has. It is a very good anti-inflammatory. It really helps you soothe any kind of pains in the body. It is having a very good antibiotic like properties, because whenever in our households we have always seen that if you are hurt or if you have an injury, mothers always used to give us the golden milk, the turmeric milk, because it helps in healing. It helps in combating any kind of pain that you have, any inflammation. So that is one. The next we can talk about ginger. So I believe all of us have had ginger, because it is very good in terms of cold medicine. It is having again very good anti-arthritic properties. It has weight loss properties. It's very good for digestion, of course, for cold and infections. So all of these are the properties of ginger, which itself, speaks a lot about the herbal, I would say, the therapeutic benefit of ginger. Then we can talk about clove. So clove, as we know, is very rich in essential oils, which is myrcene and eugenol, which again for dental issues it's very good if you have it. Clove has been proven to be very good in combating COVID infections, because COVID usually enters either through the nasal tract or the oral cavity, and if you have that essential oil going on in your in your oral cavity and nasopharynx area, if you even inhale that essential oil in a water in a vapor system that you have, it is having very good antibacterial and antiviral properties. It helps you, like I told you, in dental pains. So again, a lot of good therapeutic benefits along with digestive properties. Like if you take clove by roasting it, roasting it on a on your regular tawa, and you just crush it and take it with water, it really helps you with dysentery. It acts as a very good way of a very good source to combat dysentery without even taking any allopathic medicine. Even 2-3 doses can help you combat that problem. So it is very good for gut infections also. Then we have garlic. Garlic is very good for cholesterol problems, weight problems. Then there is wheatgrass, there is tulsi, neem. So many of these herbal ingredients which have so many good properties. Neem is having a very good antibacterial property. It really helps you cleanse your skin because it is a very good detoxifier. Then tulsi, we all have had tulsi teas and tulsi kadhas because it is having again very good antibacterial and antiviral properties. It really helps you combat cold, helps you combat fever and all these infections. So I've just spoken about a few, but we have so many. Cinnamon helps you with the lowering of cholesterol, with any kind of digestive issues that a person has. Ajwain, as we know, Ajwain really helps again with stomach disorders, digestive disorders. Then we have cumin, which again is a very good digestive ingredient. So on and all, if I go and check my spice box in the kitchen, I have so many things to talk about each and every spice sitting over there. Even rock salt, as we understand, rock salt. We all, rather than taking a normal, I would say the processed salt, rock salt is always very good to take because it is rich with minerals which are very good for body, and it acts as a very good detoxifier as well. And it's not just, these properties are not just limited to the oral usage, they are very good for topical usage also. Because if you soak your feet in rock salt water, warm rock salt water, you will really feel the muscles really get relaxed, and there is a lot of rejuvenation that happens. It acts as a very good de-stressor. Even the essential oils of tulsi, rosemary, etc., lavender, they are very good de-stressors. If you just inhale them by putting few drops into your vaporizer, it really helps you bring down the cortisol levels. So many things, we have in our day-to-day life which we can imbibe. And these are all Ayurvedic ingredients. I've not even gone to the ashwagandhas and brahmis, which are like, which are nerve tonics, really help you manage the cortisol levels and stress levels, which are a big problem these days. Because like I said, that Ayurveda talks about the balance between the mind and body. So, you have to make sure that your stress levels are managed, your sleep is proper, your diet is proper, you have all these ingredients in your daily life. And if you, try incorporating all these things in your daily life, you will really see a difference. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that very informative and very comprehensive statements. In fact, I would just like to add here that the wonderful thing about Ayurveda is that it is an empirical science. And as Professor Lele had mentioned in the opening remark of his book, that is, it is an experiential knowledge gained over the period of 5,000 years. So what has happened is that our ancestors have been using these different agents that you've just talked about, spices, medicines, herbs, and other elements of nature.
आवाज साफ नहीं आ रही, आवाज
And
क्लियर नहीं आ रही
over
है।
a period of thousands and thousands of years, these agents have established their usefulness, and probably those which were not fit or which were not that beneficial, they have been discontinued. And at least we understand from our experience of thousands of years that certain agents are beneficial for our health and can and should be utilized. So, Shikhaji, welcome to the program. I see that you've just joined. Thank you so much for joining. Would you
आवाज
like
साउंड
to
नहीं
add
आ रहा
on?
ना,
Would
इसमें
you
साउंड
like
आना
to
चाहिए,
add on something?
साउंड
Did you
ठीक आना
listen to
चाहिए,
the
साउंड इसमें
question?
नहीं आ
That how can we use our kitchen as
साउंड कहाँ सुनाई दे रहा है, साउंड नहीं आ रहा है।
as a therapeutic option for our lives, and especially taking into consideration the knowledge gained from Ayurveda, the elements of kitchen which are good for our health, and how to have them best. One thing which Dr. Kriti pointed out, which I would appreciate very much, is that every drug, every medicine has an agent carrier, as she mentioned. So So what goes best with what, like she said, that it is better to have curcumin or curcuma with an oily agent, if I'm right. So would you
Yeah.
like to add something like that?
See, firstly, I would like to tell that I am an Ayurvedic physician, so I've been practicing for almost 12 years now, and I come from a legacy of Ayurveda. But where I want to add today is when we go to a physician, we just think, the medicine will do everything for us. Whereas in Ayurveda, the concept is ahar, vihar, and aushadhi. So what Dr. Kirti has rightly said, that food is the biggest pillar in terms of the healing also. And as Ayurveda talks about prevention and cure both. But if we are taking the right food as per the season, as per the locality, and with the kind of prakriti we have, so a lot of things can be prevented beforehand itself. Just not the spice works, but I think the kind of food we eat, the millets we choose, the right fat we eat, all these make a big impact on a day-to-day, health. तो मेरे हिसाब से ये सारी चीजें बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है.
तो इसमें से आप किसी चीज के बारे में टिप्पणी करना चाहेंगे कि क्या चीजें हैं जो ज्यादा खानी चाहिए और कैसे खानी चाहिए?
सबसे पहले कोई भी चीज बहुत ज्यादा नहीं खानी चाहिए. ये भी एक भ्रम मैं बोलूंगी कि लोगों को आजकल लगता है कि अगर हल्दी अच्छी है तो हल्दी ही हम खा रहे हैं. तो हर चीज का मॉडरेशन यानी कि एक बैलेंस मात्रा में खाना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, क्योंकि आयुर्वेद में हर चीज की मात्रा को निर्धारित किया गया है. और अगर हम अपनी अग्नि के हिसाब से, अपने बल के हिसाब से उसका मतलब निर्धारण करें और उसके हिसाब से इसका सेवन करें, तो वो बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. क्योंकि आजकल मैं देखती हूँ, क्योंकि इतनी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन हमें अवेलेबल है इन टर्म्स ऑफ आयुर्वेदा, ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन एंड दीज थिंग्स, कई बार ओवरडोज भी हो जाता है. तो इस चीज के लिए परामर्श करना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है मेरे हिसाब से. क्योंकि जैसे हमने कोविड के
एक सवाल आप दोनों से ही पूछना चाहूंगा कि ऐसा हमने सुना है कि आयुर्वेदा में हर प्रकार का आहार हर प्रकार के व्यक्ति के लिए उचित नहीं है. दैट इज फॉर डिफरेंट बॉडी टाइप्स, बॉडी हैबिट्स, और एज पर योर डेफिनेशन ऑफ वात, कफ एंड अदर other categorization, the food should be different. So is it like that? And how can a simple person, जो हमारा अभी ऑडियंस व्यूअर्स हमें देख रहे हैं, उनके लिए आप कुछ सजेशन देना चाहती हैं कि अगर आप ऐसे हैं तो ये चीज खाइए, ये चीज न खाइए, इसका सेवन न करें, ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है?
Dr. Kirti, would you want to start? Dr. Kirti, would you want to give the answer first?
You can continue since you are already on the,
you
and I
please
guess
start.
that you are somewhere outside, so maybe you'll have to leave also.
No, see, जब प्रकृति का जब हम वर्णन करते हैं तो तीन हमारी एक सिंपल प्रकृति जो होती है हमारी, जो प्योर प्रकृति हम बोलते हैं, वातज, पित्तज, कफज. उसके बाद आज के समय में द्वंद्वज प्रकृति भी मिलती है कि किसी का वात पित्तज भी हो सकता है, पित्त कफज भी होता है, वात कफज भी हो सकता है. तो इट रियली डिपेंड्स कि आपकी प्रकृति कौन सी है. और आजकल का जो हमारा रहन सहन है, जीवन शैली है, तो बहुत रेयरली ही हम बोलेंगे कि कोई प्योर प्रकृति मिलती है. आई थिंक डॉक्टर कीर्ति भी इस बात से सहमति देंगी. और जो हमारा खान पान होना चाहिए, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन आवर मेजर, जो हमारा बेस प्रकृति है उसके हिसाब से होना चाहिए. जैसे वातज प्रकृति में हम बोलते हैं कि हमें जैसे कि ऑयली फूड या गुरु आहार का सेवन ज्यादा करना चाहिए, जो कि हमारा वात को का शमन करता है. सिमिलरली पित्तज में जो भी हमारा पित्त कारक खाना है, जो कि हाई एसिडिक फूड है, उसका सेवन हमें बहुत ज्यादा नहीं करना चाहिए. और कफज में बहुत ज्यादा मीठा, मिष्ठान, इन सब चीजों का हमें सेवन नहीं करना चाहिए.
कुछ आप सिंपलीफाई करके बता सकती हैं, क्योंकि हमारे श्रोताओं को शायद ना पता हो कि वो कौन कैसे हैं. Is it possible somehow to simplify your answers so that they become relatable to us?
सिंपलीफाई, अगर मैं वातज प्रकृति की बात करूं तो मैं इसमें बोलूंगी कि
जैसे अगर मैं मोटा हूं तो मुझे क्या खाना चाहिए, मैं दुबला हूं तो मुझे क्या खाना चाहिए, मुझे ज्यादा गुस्सा आता है तो मुझे क्या खाना चाहिए? Is it something like that?
एक जेनरिक में ऐसे कैसे बताऊं, लेकिन अगर हम जैसे अगर हम मोटे हैं, स्थौल्य हैं, अगर आयुर्वेद के अनुकूल, तो हमें मीठा यानी कि गुरु भोजन नहीं खाना चाहिए. मतलब मीठा जैसे हम स्वीट्स नहीं खानी चाहिए, हमें वीट नहीं खाना चाहिए, मधुर जैसे दूध का सेवन ज्यादा नहीं करना चाहिए. कफज प्रकृति के विरुद्ध है. सिमिलरली जैसे वातज है यानी कि वो स्लिम है और बहुत ज्यादा ड्राइनेस है, तो उसको वहाँ पे कफ के विपरीत यानी उल्टा उसका खाना चाहिए. जैसे कि उसको घी का सेवन करना चाहिए, मीठे का सेवन करना चाहिए, ये सब चीजें. और जो पित्तज प्रकृति के लोग हैं, जिनको हम बोलते हैं कि बहुत ज्यादा एसिडिक होते हैं, गुस्सा बहुत आता है, जैसे कि आपने किया तो उन लोग को हाईली एसिडिक फूड का कंजम्पशन नहीं करना चाहिए, जैसे कि दोबारा गम किया खाना है, बहुत तला भुना खाना है, मिर्च मसाले हैं, चाय कॉफी का ज्यादा सेवन, ये सब नहीं करना चाहिए। तो ये एक बेसिक हम स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन के हिसाब से बात करते हैं, और बाकी चिकित्सा के अनुसार जो बीमारी है उसके हिसाब से उनका जो पथ्य है वो उनको गाइड किया जाता है।
तो उनको तो गुस्सा और ज्यादा आएगा फिर। डॉक्टर कृति, ओवर टू यू। आप कुछ, वुड यू लाइक टू ऐड समथिंग टू दिस?
Yeah, so exactly like Dr. Shikha just mentioned that according to the pravritis, and like there are dominant pravritis. Like at times, what happens is that there is
I
existence
would
of
just
all.
request, if it is possible, to put out suggestions which people can relate to, because probably it may not be possible, because I also don't know about the pravritis and the doshas. So if somehow it is possible, if possible, obviously, so that people can relate and take the knowledge that you're giving with themselves and use it for their well-being.
Sure, sure. So
Please.
what I wanted to say was कि at times it's not that we have a very fixed kind of a routine or a fixed kind of a metabolism, because that keeps on changing with the weather and the seasons. At times that happens, like we are not always feeling acidic, but at times it aggravates. तो उन उन वक्त पे या जब ऐसी चीजें होती हैं, it's very important that we understand what is good for us to take and what is not. So ये basic understanding कि which foods are acidic, which are basic and which will help you in this condition is really really important. And इसमें कोई आपको बहुत ज़्यादा technical या मतलब you don't need to identify your doshas. You just need to be mindful of your body. So that is what I would like to communicate, that कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि because of the season the skin becomes very dry. So in that condition, you need to moisturize it, hydrate it, have food, fruits, so that your skin regains that moisture that is required in optimum amount. And on the other hand, if it is like too humid outside and you are sweating a lot and you're feeling very oily, then you have to do the opposite of that. So there are some corrective actions that you need to take depending on the condition and how your body is behaving, because ये जो balances हैं ये सब मतलब these become imbalances very soon when you don't follow a particular diet or you are in a stress condition. So it's very important to understand that. हम इतना सुनते हैं कि people change cities and they start facing hair loss, lot of hair loss, unexpected weight gains. So and they then say that we don't know why this is happening. This is because of stress levels, because your cortisol levels are changing, fluctuating, you are adapting to an environment. And usually we always tell that it will take 2-3 months to adjust to the environment, and you will get better with time. But the thing is that when you are going through that, you need to make sure that you are nourishing your body properly, your body is healthy, your mind is healthy, you are giving it proper rest and exercise, so that you can maintain that balance and your hormonal levels and your body is synchronized. So overall कहने का मतलब यही है कि we need to maintain, we have to understand what our body is signaling to us, because whatever we see as a as a symptom or as a problem is actually a sign that the body is giving, a signal that the body is giving, that you need to do something about it. And it's very important for us to understand that and not just take an allopathic or a symptomatic medicine and suppress that symptom. We have to make some corrections so that it doesn't aggravate in long run. That is what the Ayurvedic medicine talks about, that you have to take corrective action, go to the preventive steps so that it doesn't worsen over time. So yeah, just that
Wonderful,
thing.
wonderful. Thank you so much. I think we should always remember one thing, that we are human beings, we are biological entities, and it really doesn't matter what system of medicine, because every disease has a cause. Something is happening inside our body which is causing a disease. So I think for our benefit, we should pick up the best from wherever possible, be it Ayurveda, be it homeopathy, or be it any other system of medicine. Whatever is best for us, we should be doing that. In fact, I was very enlightened to hear you and to hear Dr. Shikha about the dietary practices that you just mentioned. In other words, put, I think these are very logical recommendations, as she just said that अगर आप मोटे हैं तो आप मधुर नहीं खाएं, आप ज़्यादा तली हुई चीज़ें नहीं. This means this is actually what this is very logical, and the recommendation of all the doctors, all the dietitians, This is, in other words, a low calorie diet. And just as you mentioned, if your skin is dry, you hydrate yourself. So that is also quite obvious. So these are natural sciences that we've learned from our experience over thousands of years, and there's no harm in following them, and we should only build upon that. So thank you so much. Now, Dr. Bhaskar, is there anything in diet mentioned in your science of medicine which you would like to share with us? Some dietary practices, कुछ ऐसी खाने पीने की आहार की चीजें हैं जो स्वास्थ्य के लिए लाभकारी हो, या जो किसी व्यक्ति को लेनी चाहिए या नहीं लेनी चाहिए, जैसे अभी हमने सुना डॉक्टर कृति और शिखा से, आप कुछ ऐसा बताना चाहेंगे?
जी, बहुत सी चीजें हैं जो डाइट में लेनी चाहिए। मतलब बहुत सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो हमारे जो है लिए बहुत, या हमारे जीवन के लिए बहुत उपयोगी हैं, जो बड़े से बड़े रोगों को मात दे सकती हैं। जैसे हमें जो है लोगों को सबसे ज्यादा अहम बात ये बताना है कि हमें जो बिना साइड इफेक्ट के हों, जैसे घरेलू जो चीज हमें गाँव में मिल जाए, छोटे छोटे जगहों, छोटे छोटे स्थानों पे मिल जाए, जैसे हमें उनके बारे में बताना चाहिए। जैसे घरेलू में जैसे हर्बल औषधियों को ले लीजिए, वो जरूरी नहीं, नीम से बनी हुई हमारे यहाँ भी होम्योपैथी औषधि एजार्डिका इंडिका आता है, तो नीम हो गया, तुलसी हो गया, या गिलोय हो गया, या एलोवेरा हो गया, आंवला हो गया, या मतलब जीरा हो गया, अजवाइन, सौंफ, मतलब अदरक इत्यादि जो है, ये प्रारंभिक से लेकर गंभीर कई बीमारियों को, ये अगर इनके लेने से हमें विशेष लाभ होता है। तो इस तरीके से हमें जो है हमारे जीवन में जो हमारे गांव में या छोटे छोटे शहरों में छोटे छोटे जगहों पे पाए जाने वाले इन चीजों का अगर हम प्रयोग करेंगे तो हमारी सेहत के लिए बहुत फायदेमंद है और बड़ी से बड़ी बीमारियों को मात देगा। जी
धन्यवाद। तो क्योंकि इस बारे में चर्चा हो रही है, आई वुड लाइक टू से दैट दवा दवा होती है और दवा जहर भी होती है। इनफैक्ट अगर आपने मॉडर्न मेडिसिन का एम्बलम देखा हो तो उसमें एक कप है, जिसके ऊपर सांप लिपटा हुआ है, और सांप की डंक जो है उसके जहर निकल के उस कप में आ रहा है। तो ये दर्शाता है कि उस जहर से ही दवा बनती है, और वो दवा जहर भी हो सकती है। अक्सर मैं अपने मरीजों को समझाता हूँ कि आप ये मत सोचिए कि पानी बहुत अच्छी चीज है, क्योंकि पानी की भी लीथल डोज होती है। अगर आप जरूरत से ज्यादा डिस्टिल्ड वाटर पी लें तो आपकी उससे मौत भी हो सकती है, और ऐसा होता है। तो जब हम दवा की बात करते हैं, औषधि की बात करते हैं, तो हमें सही समय, कंसंट्रेशन और मात्रा जानकारी होना भी जरूरी है। अक्सर हम कहते हैं कि जैसे अभी नीम की चर्चा हुई, नीम कैन बी नेफ्रोटॉक्सिक, इट इज toxic to liver, it can be toxic to brain, neem oil especially can cause metabolic encephalopathy। तो बहुत सारी चीजें जिसके बारे में हमें पता होना चाहिए। और हम सब डॉक्टर्स हैं, तो हम अक्सर अपने क्लिनिक्स में देखते होंगे कि लोग जब ज्यादा दवा ले लेते हैं, हमने ऐसा देखा है कि जैसे सब्जी है कद्दू या घिया, लोग उसका जूस कई दिनों तक पीते रहते हैं, और डायरिया नहीं, शरीर में पानी की कमी हो जाती है, उससे बेहोश रहते हैं। तो मेरा कहने का ये मतलब है कि दवा को दवा की तरह ही लेना चाहिए। डॉक्टर, कोई भी डॉक्टर हो या आयुर्वेदिक चिकित्सक हो, जिनको दवा के बारे में अच्छी जानकारी हो, उनकी सलाह से, उनकी निगरानी के अंदर ही लेनी चाहिए। क्योंकि किसी भी सिस्टम में कोई भी दवा नुकसान भी कर सकती है। ऐसी कोई दवा, ऐसी कोई चीज नहीं होती जो अमृत के प्रकार हो, जिसका कोई साइड इफेक्ट ना हो। ऐसा अनफॉर्चुनेटली पोर्ट्रे किया जाता है, और बहुत बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में ये धारणा है कि कुछ प्रकार की चीजें तो ऐसी हैं कि उसको जितना मर्जी ले लें, उसका कोई साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है। डॉक्टर कृति, व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन अबाउट दिस?
So that is a very important topic that you have raised, and it is very very important. हमने सबसे ज़्यादा इसका example COVID के time पे देखा था, when people over abuse the kadas, and these kadas were made with ginger, giloy, black pepper, which we all understand that are very very acidic in higher concentration, and they really, if they are abused or they are taken in excess concentration, they lead to a lot of problems. they can lead to GI inflammations, they can lead to stomach ulcers. So it is very important that we take these, because we should not take these herbs also very lightly. As I said, that they are combination of thousands of phytochemicals which are behaving in a certain way. They are that is why we say that a single compound or even a single ingredient like turmeric is able to cure so many other diseases. It is an antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. It also helps with cancer. It helps with bone disorders. So many properties in one herb. Why is it having that? Because it has so many phytoactives which are working in a certain way. And when we say that, it is very important to understand that the dosages, like we calibrate the allopathic medicines in the dosages, like we take 500 mg of paracetamol or 650 mg of paracetamol. It's very important to understand that these are also these need to be taken in a very specified amount. Of course, when you speak about this, I would really like to highlight that safety and toxicity studies of these herbs are very important. So we've been studying as a part of modern medicine and herbal medicine. We have been doing this for a very long time, that we are checking the therapeutic index or a therapeutic window of that drug, where we say that from this concentration to this concentration, this particular herbal extract is safe to consume. Because now we talk, and now when I'm speaking about a herbal extract, that is a purified form of a herb. But if you are taking herbal powders, it's very, very important to understand that there can be contamination of heavy metals, pesticides, which come along with the cultivation. So they really need to be removed, because heavy metals are highly toxic to your body. It can create so much different kinds of heavy metal poisonings which can damage your kidneys, your brain, your liver. So it's very important to understand this. It's not that any herb you take which is going in the wild, or anything which is coming from an unknown source will be okay to consume. It is very important to understand that these might have a lot of pesticide residues which can hamper your health. So, first thing, when you consider taking these herbal ingredients, it's important to go and understand whether, they are safe to consume in terms of their quality reports. So when we, develop these products, we are very cognizant of the fact that these are completely free from heavy metals and pesticides, because that they are a bigger risk, they are a bigger danger. And of course, the microbiology of the products. When I say microbiology, because you are going to consume these products for a longer period of time, there should not be any aflatoxins, there should not be fungal spores or any kind of bacterial or viral contaminations. We often forget that these herbs can have that. That is why even when we get these fresh vegetables, or the herbal the herbs, we always recommend washing them thoroughly, because you never know what all it has been through and what all it has passed while before reaching you. We are now reverting to organic foods and organic products, but we never know how it has reached from the farm to your folk. That is why we always say that organic is like something which is like completely free from all these pesticides and weedicides which are used during the cultivation of the crops. Because although it is natural, but it is exposed to something when it is growing and then reaching your plate. So all of these things need to be really taken care of, along with the safe way to take it.
Very true, very true. In fact, I am very thankful to you for elaborating and getting this message across to our viewers. I would just like to add here that, as you very rightly mentioned, phytotherapeutics is a growing area of research, and it's becoming very, very popular in Europe. It is very important to standardize the extracts, because एक पौधे में कौन सा केमिकल कितना होता है वो बहुत सारी चीजों पे निर्भर होता है. जैसे कितने सूरज की रोशनी मिली, कितनी बारिश हुई, कौन सी जमीन पे पैदा हुआ. So it is not necessary that the same plant growing in the same season or different season at different places can contain different chemicals. So at times it can be very potent, it can be very potent. At times it may not have that much of chemicals. So it is important to standardize. Hence, it is very important to take such medications also uh, from uh, from doctors, from reputed sources, so that you know that you are not doing harm to yourself. As you rightly mentioned about something so simple as haldi, that haldi growing in one place is much better as compared to all other places. So the same goes. I had an experience with my patients, since I am a diabetologist. with Karela. So as you would all understand that everyone says that Karela is very good for diabetics and it helps stimulate insulin or say sugar ठीक हो जाती है and like that. But the thing is, Karela is a fruit, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is a fruit, and actually, uh, there are different types of Karelas, as there must be. Some are toxic as well. So probably the Ayurvedic physicians who use Karela for treatment purposes, they understand very well which Karela which Karela has the medicinal properties and which is toxic one and which should not be used. About 5 years back in Delhi, there was a very interesting and prominent case of a professor from Delhi University who took Karela juice at his home. He bought Karela from the market and took the juice, and it turned out to be toxic. And he unfortunately lost his life, but his wife could survive after a few days in the ICU. So my message here is that don't take things for granted. All medication should be done under supervision of physicians, be it Ayurvedic, be it allopathic, or any system of medicine, because these medicines can play a toxic role to your body as well. A short comment about, I don't know how it is happening in your area, but in Delhi, whenever I go to parks early in the morning, there are many people selling juices of neem and mixing different things. I mean, they say that this neem leaf is so fresh that I've just on it from the tree that there cannot be anything better than that. So, ये सब चीजें सही हैं क्या?
So again, like we just discussed, that you have to be cognizant of the fact that although it is fresh, although you are getting it from somewhere, but you never know what kind of life cycle it has been through, what it has been exposed to, whether the place where it is growing, what kind of soil it was exposed to, because we have to understand that the plant produces phytochemicals based on the nutrition that it gets, right? So if you're feeding the plant a wrong kind of an environment or a wrong kind of a soil, then it will not have those therapeutic benefits. So it's not that we have to rely on any source. We have to be very cognizant of the source from where the plant is coming, and that is why we always assert on the fact that take products which are standardized, take products which are quality certified, because then only we will start respecting the value of the therapeutic benefit that is coming from it. Otherwise, whatever you are having is just an eye wash. It is not having any therapeutic benefit otherwise, until it is it has gone through those tests and it has gone through that quality level check and finally reached you. So again, that is not a very healthy practice to do, that I would suggest.
Yes, wonderful. I think I would just like to add about these fresh juices which are sold near the parks for the morning walkers, that these are in front of, at least in Delhi, I see, in front of big streets or roads where thousands of vehicles and diesel vehicle pass. So these leaves take up so many of these intoxicants, and these intoxicants are carcinogens. They can cause cancer, they cause asthma, they can cause so many diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and ultimately they are squeezed up and they are because the leaves have been taking them up throughout the day. So they have accumulated them over the days, over the years, and now they were squeezed up and served to you in a glass, and so-called a glass of health, which actually is a decoction of toxins. So you should be very wary about these and should follow Dr. Kriti's advice that the medicines that you have should be standardized and from a reputed source. One very important thing which I think has a very important role to play in our health and comes from the traditional systems of medicine is the mental health. So I don't know if Shikha ji is there. Shikha Prakash, are you there? Dr. Shikha Prakash. So I would request you to continue, Dr. Kriti, about the role of Ayurveda in mental health.
So Ayurveda plays a very big role in mental health, and it's not just limited to what you have. what you are eating or what you are consuming orally. It is also related to what you are inhaling or what kind of environment you are in. And that is why, Ayurveda not only recommends some herbs or dietary modifications or to have food at at a fixed time. There is a very fixed routine that you have to follow for your diet, for your sleep. If you do that, many of the things get sorted. But even if, even after that you are facing some imbalances because they are aggravated, you can resort to some very simple, changes. Like you can do abhyangas, which really, help in a betterment of the lymphatic flow. It really helps you release stress. So there are very simple practices which one can adopt for abhyangas, which are basically massages that you can do on your facial region, on your temple areas, on your eyes. Right eye should be done clockwise, left eye should be done anti-clockwise. So if you just massage it even during your working
If it is not difficult and possible, I would request you to give a small demonstration.
Sure. So, you can actually do it from the center towards the outside like this, you know, like that. And on the eye, you can actually do, on the right eye, you can do it clockwise, like on this lid. And on the left eye, you can do it anti-clockwise. And then you gently massage your face like this. So if you do this, this really helps you release the tension during even your working hours. Like, in between you take small breaks, even if, you sit for a very long time before the screen, because there is a lot of digital exhaustion and fatigue that is happening these days. And it's very important that you do these simple exercises while at work. Hydrate yourself well. By hydration, again, I don't mean is to say that you take lots of water. You at least have at least 1 liter to 2 liters of water a day, and then so that because your body is also able to process that water through air urination, and you basically detoxify yourself by taking out the toxins from that route. And apart from that, you can while doing that massage at home, you can use some very good oils like kumkumadi oil, like almond oil, and nourish your skin. Apart from that, in order to de-stress yourself, you can also use some essential oils as vaporizers, like I just said. You can have eucalyptus oil, rosemary. All these can be inhaled by putting it in a vaporizer, and that basically works through nose to brain connection. So when I say nose to brain, it actually means that it directly reaches your brain, because nasal tract is very close to the brain, and it helps you bring down the cortisol levels. So as soon as the cortisol levels go down, your body starts feeling relaxed. So and orally, if I talk about some of the interventions that can be taken at home, you can take nutmeg in milk at night. It really helps you, help with the sleep pattern. It gets you to sleep. You can have jaifal in your meals, a little bit of jaifal in a very small quantity, of course. And then there are ingredients like ashwagandha, which are really good adaptogenics. They really help you manage and combat the stresses inside the body. And of course, your teas, which should be again taken in moderation because they have caffeine. So if you take a lot of caffeine, that it overstimulates you. So you can, in order to just bring down your anxiety levels, you need to have very little amount of these caffeinated drinks, not in very high concentration. You need to have very moderate amounts of coffee or very moderate amounts of tea, so that you are not overstimulated. Otherwise, what happens is that in offices we end up having 5 to 6 cups of teas and coffee a day, and it overstimulates us. And people say that we don't feel like sleeping at night, our sleep patterns have got disturbed. We don't realize that these are the small mistakes that we are doing in the day which are leading to these problems. So, on and all, I would like to say that, these small interventions really help you ease your mental stress. Taking small breaks in between, having healthy snacks, don't binge on things which are oily, fatty, because that will again create an imbalance in the body. Hydrate yourself. And of course, do these simple massages so as to relax and relax the body and increase the lymphatic flow.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that was a wonderful recommendation from you. Now, just tell me one thing, which I think is very important, because we've heard so much about Kada. In fact, you yourself mentioned, I'm still sure that people love to take them and they would continue taking them, because cold, cough, viral illnesses are there to stay. They're not going anywhere. So could you give some recommendations, some recipe for Kada ki aap aise banaiye This is more or less fine. And since it is going to be an Ayurvedic decoction, how many times people should have it? So can you tell us something like that? Something very specific. Itna aise ye.
Sure, sure. So I would suggest that take kadha like your regular tea in the morning, and you just take it once a day. You can make it like you boil your tea leaves. So don't put your tea leaves. Just take a big bowl of water, maybe 1 liter of water, say for example, in a patila that you have, a regular pan in your house, and then you add grated ginger to it, approximately a 5 centimeter piece. Then you take one to two sticks of cinnamon, elaichi, the crushed black pepper, 3 to 4 peppercorns, and you boil it completely. You can also add giloy, like 2 sticks of giloy, 5 centimeter sticks, again crushed properly. So why I'm saying crushed everything, because when you crush things, then the decoction is better. If you put everything like that only without crushing, then decoction, the phytoactives don't leach out properly. So it's important that you crush everything and then you add it, and then you give it a boil. So boil it until it reduces to half of the volume, and then you cool it down. And if it is difficult for you to take, you can add a little bit of honey in the end. Don't add honey while decoctioning or boiling it. Add it in the end, and then you can take it, because this particular kadha having cinnamon, ginger, pepper, giloy is very, very beneficial. And these are the things which are easily available in every house these days. Giloy, if you see, this is very commonly seen growing on a neem plant. So I have a small kitchen garden at my house, and once I brought a climber of giloy, and it just it is a climber plant, so it grew on the neem plant that I had. And neem growing, the giloy which grows on a neem tree is very, very good. Is having a better therapeutic property as compared to any other giloy. So these are very small things that if you do on a daily basis in your life, it really helps you. And like I said, just be mindful that you add honey in the end, not in the hot stage, in a very hot stage, because it really deteriorates honey's properties. So yeah, that is a simple recipe that I would like to suggest to everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And one more problem, I think, which is ubiquitous, and people are looking for solutions in Ayurveda for that. That is constipation. Any suggestions?
Yeah, so for constipation, I would say it is a very big problem, and because of constipation, a person suffers from many other ailments, because your gut is not clean, and your gut is, like we say, it is a second brain, and if it doesn't detoxify, and your previous food and toxins stay in the gut, then it creates a lot of issue. So one of the simplest thing to do is taking isabgol daily. But I have seen that over a period of time, people turn resistant to isabgol, and they say that it's not effective. So what you can do is you can have triphala at night, isabgol and triphala, combination of that in the isabgol itself, and you take it, and it will really help you ease your, constipation problem. And of course, if you are not lactose intolerant, you can also have a little, small cup of milk with a little amount of ghee, a small teaspoon of ghee. That really lubricates the gut and helps in gut mobility, because constipation is because of lack of peristalsis in the gut, which basically doesn't enable the food to eject out, the previous food to eject from the colon. That is why you feel constipated, and because of the less of bowel movement. So ghee actually helps in lubricating that, and helps in elimination of the waste product from the body. And like I said, having taking the saturated fat from ghee or coconut is very important in slight amounts. People have a notion that okay, ghee will increase our weight and all this. That happens, but if you take it in higher amounts, so you have to be very cognizant of the amount again. And like we said, your food is your medicine. You have to treat it like that, so that you get the maximum benefit out of it.
Thank you so much. That was very wonderful. I think all the advices that you've given and other panelists have given are very pertinent, and in fact, uh, they are in sync with whatever we've been hearing and whatever we also advise to our patients. So I'm sure that our viewers and everyone participating in this program, and I particularly, have learned a lot from today's interaction. Thank you so much. I'm very thankful to you, Dr. Kriti, and other panelists who have been there. And I'd like to thank you and Dr. Bhaskar Sharma and Dr. Vaidya Shikhar Prakash for being with us, for sparing your time, and for giving such wonderful advice to our viewers. I'd like to thank you on behalf of Shri Anil Rajput who's the chairman of the CSR Council of ASSOCHAM. And I'm very thankful to the whole team of ASSOCHAM who've so nicely organized this program and brought us all together and thought of this topic, and we could actually realize it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And I would just like to give a closing remark. I see there were some questions. If I'm unable to answer any of them, you can actually reach out to me on Health Kriti on Instagram and ask any questions if you have. And I can actually not see the question that you have. So you can actually reach out
We
to
have
me.
actually covered most of the topics that were asked. So that's why I didn't ask them you. So I think we've actually covered all the questions.
Okay,
They
okay.
are
Then
framed
that's
a
fine.
bit differently, but we've actually covered them. Thank you so
Sure,
much.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Take care.